Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long boy clothes, 1975. A using words on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends used to bug me. Long boys clothes, 1975.
Hey YouTube, Lumboys Post 1975, and welcome to the Wednesday vlog. Yeah, there's a question up there, as normal. It's a Wednesday and it's a vlog. Was your gaming far more productive when you were broke? You know, was your gaming more enjoyable when you were broke? You know, when you didn't have any money? I guess, well, to some degree you could argue, you know, when you were younger or a kid, or you know, or didn't have as much disposable income. I touched upon this a few years ago. But it just dawned on me. I was having a conversation with someone at work last night when we were checking out the video games, and he was just like, because they just started restocking Wii U games, which seems a bit odd at this point, you know, in the system's life cycle, when they dropped them pretty much after the system came out. Never mind. But yeah, and so there's a whole range of budget ones, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna get that, I'm gonna get that, I'm gonna get that, I'm gonna get that. And I was like, well, hang on a minute. Did you get, you know, Twilight Princess like a week or so ago? And he was like, yeah, and like, and didn't you get, you know, like this on the Xbox One a week or so ago? And he was like, yep. And I'm like, wow, you buy a lot of games. I mean, obviously I do, but we'll get to that. Retro is slightly different. And he goes, yeah, but it's great, you know, and I don't know, and we got disposable income. And it made me think, because I was looking at my games when I came home from work, and it's been on my mind, because it's about time I've, you know, every now and then I cull my collection and recycle and stuff like that, take them to, you know, Paint Planet and things like that, mainly to get cash and put towards something else entirely, maybe, I don't know, buy another game or two, but specifically to trim my collections, because with the exception of my retro, I don't like having too many games. I find, apart from the ones that you've completed and you keep, and they have a massive amount of replay value, I don't like having too many games. That sounds weird, I know, because people are going to say, but you put gameplay videos up all the time. But like I said, retro is slightly different. I'll make a point on that. I find having too many games takes away, to some degree, the enjoyment and fun you have of playing them, and also it becomes kind of a logistical nightmare to juggle them all. Do you jump in and out of them all, you know, kind of subsequently and stuff like that, or do you sit down and you finish one? And this is what I mean. Do you find like it is unproductive, you know, and that it was kind of a simpler time, and not just when you're a kid, but you know, we all go through pockets of life where finances are tight and stuff like that. And it seemed to me, particularly since I have to buy a new car in the moment, oh, I miss my old car. Rest in peace, Hyundai Coupe. You served me well. So I can't, you know, splash the cash as freely as, you know, I would like to. But it's meant that I have sat down and, you know, made a point of going through some of the games that I kind of left at a point, not because I lost interest in them or I wasn't enjoying them, but because I jumped ship and went to something else that I probably bought afterwards, and then jumped ship from that to something else. And so, yeah, I was thinking about it, the fact that I've done this, and I've been having loads and loads of fun, you know, it's not being able to blow money on stuff has actually made it more productive, made me enjoy it and appreciate the game a lot more. The fact that if you sit down and play it from start to finish, the problem solving, you know, the things like that, the process the game rewards you with the story and unlocks and things like that, and the, you know, the typical rewards you get from going through the timed process and not giving up and just persevering and stuff like that. And that's how the game was designed, to keep you you know, to make it a different experience in the middle and at the end from what it was at the beginning, you know, with level ups and things like that, dependent on the game or with the story, or just with the mechanics, you know, of the actual sort of physical gameplay. This is something, yeah, that I know there are probably loads of people out there who do play games. Call myself then, almost said do it. Do play games from beginning to end, but I don't know, I find a lot of me and my mates, particularly lots of my friends on here, you know, who have gaming channels, are incredibly guilty of jumping around through topics and never sort of, in some degrees, and I hate to say this, I've taken games and traded them before I finished them, and everyone's done that in some cases where it was just, you just became utterly bored with the game, or maybe the game was broken, or maybe you rage quitted. I don't know, but sometimes I have been guilty of getting rid of games that I absolutely loved and was completely invested in, and then just jumped onto something else. And then when I was, I'd like having a clear out or something like that, either for room or a little bit of cash, I just went, oh, screw it. And at the time, I've almost had that thought when I kind of like, oh, should I bite the bollocks and just put it in that pile to trade? Excuse me, breakfast. Red Thai cod, yummy. So, and a glass of lovely aspartame to wash it down and preserve my bones. So yeah, I have noticed that I've been more productive, and as a result or side effect of that, enjoying gaming a little bit more than I did when I was just kind of sporadically jumping around titles. And also, it reminded me of when I was a kid, where you got a game for Christmas, or in my case more so, where I would save and purchase like a Master System, Mega Drive, in some cases an expensive early Spectrum game. And that was it. I was broke. I had no more money. That was my gaming. I mean, lots of people have touched upon this, but it's true. It simply is true. So you would cane the shit out of it, even if you didn't complete it, because you couldn't, because you weren't good enough, or like with lots of early games, it was broken or there was no end. You would cane it. You would get your absolute value of money out of it. It would be a brilliant, I was more productive at gaming as a child than I am as an adult. And as I said, this is not everyone, but you would absolutely get the most out of it because you didn't know where your next game was coming from. And it's not entirely the same, but now that I'm kind of pinching my pennies a little bit with this, having to buy a new car, I think I'm going to go for a Volkswagen, actually. You didn't need to know that. 2 stipulations for the new car, by the way. I'm just going to say it has to have aircon and it has to have leather seats. Never mind. Yeah, completely lost my thread. Yeah, I was more productive as a child than I was as an adult. And so, like I said, this is kind of reminded me of being in frugal mode that, yeah, having, a lot of disposable income is not always an amazing thing. Sure, if we take it from the adult perspective, responsibility perspective, it is a brilliant thing because you want to be secure. But what I mean is disposable income that you could use on leisure sort of items such as gaming and that. It detracts. It really does detract from, to some degree, at least these are my experiences, and that's why I'm asking you. I'd love to know what you think. From your potential enjoyment of a game, because you can just jump ship, you can just go and purchase something else. Subsequently, you just build up a stockpile that keeps growing and growing and growing, because just because you've got that money in your pocket burning a hole doesn't mean you're going to finish the game. So yeah, this is reminding me at the moment that I was definitely, the times I've been broke, and as I said, that's probably too strong a descriptive term for being a kid, because you are broke when you're a kid, but it's not the same, because you got a roof over your head, security, you're fed, stuff like that. But your income, yourself, your child, unless you're fucking one of the royal family, I'm pretty sure their pocket money was in the fucking thousands a week. But yeah, you like I said, you weren't broke, but your lack of personal funds was beneficial. I honestly think it makes childhood what it is. Quickly want to touch upon retro when people say, like, well, why'd you buy a retro game? We'll buy another retro game, we'll buy another retro game, we'll buy another retro game, when you've just said this statement. I think that's slightly different in the sense, this is not really related to the question, this is just obviously trying to define why I see that as a difference from, just buying new games left, right and centre. But because of the rarity of a game, and when it shows up in the wild, or when it shows up on eBay, or when you get a decent price, you kind of, some of the that luxury of just picking it up when you want, such as a new game, is removed. So you kind of have to when you see it, because you don't know when it's going to go again, or if it's going to go up in price. That's kind of removed from at least current gen, to some degree previous gen. Obviously, the further we go on from a generation, then that becomes rare or retro, etc. But you know what I mean. So, but yeah, retro games I think is slightly different. But current gen, previous gen, stuff like that, I think, yeah, I was far more productive when I had no money, and am more productive when I have no money. And as a side effect of that, kind of enjoy the gaming experience and the rewards that it has to offer more. Anyway, kind of got away from me there at the end. That's the question. I would love to know what you guys think. I mean, as I said, maybe you're just like, no, what's wrong with you, dude? I just sit down from start to finish and play, or I never have too many games at once. But I'm guilty of, the opposite. So, love to know what you think, and what's your personal way of playing games. Do you juggle multiple, or do you just, start to finish? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.